whatever he does, it will be only to his own benefit. The end will always justify his means. Once the man chooses the path of corruption, then the soul will also follow along. It will become corrupted too. Your mind and soul will never find rest until the day you decide to feed them the truth. Upon that, one may question the best policy that can abolish corruption completely from the face of the earth. Is it capitalism, communist socialism, or democratic socialism? The list is endless, as we have many variations of several systems in our generation. Many are still being put into practice to see the effects upon the society and its people. We are still experimenting with several policies to see which one will best suit our desires, both individually and collectively. Because the capitalists praise individualism, socialists rely more on the humanism, and for the communists, it is all about collectivism. In the case of capitalism, the state has got little control of the daily businesses of the people. That is why I say that you are left on your own, and you ought to feed yourself according to your ability. You can decide whether to share or keep all the opportunities to yourself while your neighbor is suffering to death. Socialism is the voice of the workers or employees against the mistreatment of their employers. We stand on the foundations of demanding equality in any sector that involves the working of any being, humans and animals. That includes security and the well-being of each individual, both physically, mentally, and spiritually. Remember that I said that freedom cannot be given in small bundles. If you want to take it, then you must take it all and at once without hesitation. Because it is something that belongs to you and not to someone else. Individual freedom is not something that can be shared, but in socialism, we are talking about the freedom of many. Communism, which has many similarities to socialism, except that the leader has too much control of the population, and the only voice that can be heard is the voice of the few, the elites. The first aim of communism was to destroy the idea of elitism, but it appears to oppress its own citizens, while the leaders are wearing the crown made of gold. It is beautiful in context, but it is ruled by the few. That means opening the back door to aristocracy, autocracy, monarchy, and oligarchy. These are the outcomes when the state is governed by one individual with absolute power. Above all, that is the source of corruption, and it is not better than capitalism, which they are scolded every single day. Only socialism promises the rule of the many, and it is the only policy that applies the concept of democracy. Those who do not want to be either socialist or capitalist are running on the side of democratic socialism, because there is the only meeting line or reconciliation between capitalism and socialism. Here's a quick example to illuminate your mind on this matter. The capitalists have chosen wealth, and socialism went for health as their highest desire. Since you keep claiming that health is wealth, or health is much greater compared to wealth, then how come you still fight the policy that puts people or profit before people? I cannot blame you for judgment, because I believe that we say one thing while wishing for another. It is a human nature. But I believe in the famous saying that a prudent man should mean whatever he says and say only that which he means, being firm in words and then follow up with action according to beliefs which you hold deep inside, because deceit or anything that involves self-deception is the source of corruption within an individual. The seat of power. My African leaders have a dilemma of clinging too much in power for their own personal gains. That must change in our generation, and we cannot expect it to change while standing idle or without us doing anything towards that dilemma. The greatest amongst you is the one who can spot a mistake and then act upon it immediately without leaving it for tomorrow. Since power is a desire just like any other desire out there, I won't be surprised why many of the leaders hate to leave the seat of power. To some of them, it is a dream come true, because it seems to be something coming totally out of nowhere. It has been considered directly with the Creator, with so many famous chants invented to praise the rulers, like, quote, "God bless the king," or / the queen. This dilemma is not only found in the political world, including in many religions too, where the individual is persuaded to love the stranger, founder, or the prophet of his religion more than he loves his father and family altogether. This seat of power can be found everywhere, and it is often hidden behind the curtains when it comes to religious matters. In reality, there is a power struggle in every community, no matter how small it may appear before your senses. At the same time, that does not mean that the evil doings of a tyrant are justified before the people whom is ruling. Humanity must always be placed first, not in the center or at the end, and human rights must be respected in any given environment. Because the dictatorship that destroys everything it touches instead of constructive, is considered to be the major sin in humanism. Any leader who clinged on power is right to be considered mean during and after his departure, and there cannot be any song of glory attributed to him that is genuinely coming from the citizens. My philosophy and ideology forbids me to hold firmly on power with two hands. I'll always remain true to myself and pray that the Creator will keep me on the right path of governance. My instincts of transformation will do all the magic to keep sure that the population are living well according to their desires, and make sure that their standards match up with those of the world. My ideology, or ideological reasoning, is based on humanism, and that is what I wish to rest my mind upon, nothing more and nothing less. Cure of poverty. I have discussed the matter of corruption and how to get rid of it. Now we are faced with the major subject of poverty, the most popular one that is always given a blind eye in every generation. Even Jesus didn't know which side he should be on. Sometimes he praised the poor, the hard workers, and the rich. The other time he acted according to the scriptures, like a true communist who wanted everything to be equally divided in the society. According to the scripture, he praised and practiced celibacy, and then discouraged his apostles to walk with a wallet in the pocket. In short, his philosophical thinking was based on simple lifestyle that made sure everyone got something, thus the famous saying of loving one his neighbors as you so love yourself. This was the oldest Jewish belief, even before the miraculous birth of Jesus. In fact, the ideology of, quote, love thy neighbor as thyself is the main message and the true foundation of all the religions. It is all about love and bringing peace within the community or environment. It is the ideology of humanitarianism, the idea of sharing is caring. I strongly believe the ideology of egalitarianism is the only cure of poverty, meaning that equality must come before elitism. And when the citizens are treated equally regardless of their genders or abilities, then the world will become a better place indeed. Which means that those who lack the ability will be taught the necessary skills to make them capable to see the future opportunities passing by. Those fighting against poverty through the implementation of correct education schema. Charity's charge is such a great idea too, but it is useless when left without education. By using the word education here, I'm emphasizing about the mental development of the citizens, aiming for more practicality rather than mere theories that will lead the population nowhere. I condemn charity because every free thing has got its invisible cost attached to it, as has been mentioned in the previous chapters. The more you expect or take from others, the more you become bound to them. Since charity falls under the category of expectations, it cannot be relied upon and it is something that is out of our control. Meaning, we cannot force anyone to give out to charity or predict how much we can gain from a charitable organization. Moreover, those who are controlling these charities cannot be fully trusted to deliver the goods to the needy ones. There's always a compensation in everything. The philosophers of the past and in our generation have long argued that the only way to eliminate poverty is by wanting less, meaning that one ought to quench the desires and try as much as possible to be satisfied with that little which he has at the current moment. The last part of the sentence matters because one must become their own master in the present moment so as not to be carried away by the love of life or to have one's mind on the future events. According to me, I believe that there's no difference or a little difference between those who want more or less, as they're still on the same boat or boats in the modern world. That is because we are all seeking for satisfaction only, thus making happiness to be the final destination of life. Everything that human beings do, whether it is working from 9 to 5 in order to gain wealth or just jogging to gain their health back, we are all after the same thing, which is achieving happiness at the end of the day. Because, therefore, the cure of poverty is egalitarianism, increasing the mental capacity of the population and making them see their worth in life. The latter attribute is essential because it is based on making the population cultivate their willpower daily, thus reaching the land of success. Once the population has become aware of the laws of attraction and manifestation, I believe that poverty will become an option instead of a cause. And it seems in our generation as it seems in our generation and the past generations. Housing. I've talked about the land and showed how important it is to the society. With the presence of the land comes the importance of history and the subject of geography. It is all about mapping and drawing borders between you and your neighbors. Whom you are advised to love as you love yourself. Your neighbor is not on the house next to yours, but that is just on the micro level of things. When we talk on the macro level, your neighbor can be the next country or countries whom we share borders with. I have talked about the several systems that are applied in different parts of the world, like employment. Housing is also politicized too. Those who are living in capitalist states will give you one story, those in a socialist regime will give you another, and those who are living in a communist state, that will also give you another side of their story. Housing goes hand in hand with renting, and when I mentioned the word rent, you already know that taxation is involved too. Nothing is so beautiful like owning a house. First of all, you'll be free from paying rent weekly or monthly. Secondly, you'll always have peace of mind from the noises of the landlords because you're independent from the financial shortcomings. Since you are part of the society and the society consists of nature and the people, you are obliged to pay a small amount to the government from the land that you own. The land is a key word here because it carries both the society and culture. Apart from that, you are free to do as you so wish with your house. That includes decorating and building the house according to desires and taste. It is also the responsibility of the government institutions to focus on building more houses for its citizens, thus encouraging the population to buy land and increase the price of the housing within the nation, meaning that everyone will be capable to afford a house and buy a comfortable place to call home to live with the family. Housing is a key factor in society that cannot be ignored if the leader truly cares about the health and the mental well-being of the population. Simply because this is the best practice to reduce the price of the renting and to keep good relationship with the people. Decent roads. I believe that there's no other secret to quick development of a society without possessing decent roads. Why? Simply because a road means transportation. And when this essential ingredient is missing within the society, then nothing can be expected to go according to plan. What is the plan? It is, therefore, the responsibility of the government to take great care of building roads from all the taxes they collect in order to help the people's activities and businesses flourish, thus bringing development and vanishing poverty by increasing the supplies to meet with the demands of the people. Communities will become connected through the usage of roads and those bringing happiness and improving the relationship between the population. The importance of roads is not a small matter in a state that is seeking for development both economically and politically. All of these challenges can be tackled with the help of technological development or advancement. Because with tech, there will be a development increase in the economy, voting will become much easier process, and the production will also increase in number because of the usage of advanced tools instead of using their hands at work. Technology comes in many forms and colors, meaning that education sectors will also improve with the help of tech ideas and allowing more knowledge to become available to the mass. Building roads is such a challenging process even to those who refer to themselves as experts in that matter. Because without having the right tools, you may end up torturing your body to death without achieving anything great at the end. But when the needed tools are presented at work, then you'll begin to work smart with less effort. The achievement will be tremendous in a very short time. Socialism praise and admire the usage or application of technology and the implementation of scientific approach before anything else. It is all about working smart and not hard. That is the easiest path to utopia. That is the path which I'm following right now as the world is begging for civilization of other nations. Just as individuals need food and drink to survive, so is a society in need of decent roads and good education. Salary. My previous 5 books are based on the 5 desires, which are love, wealth, health, power, and knowledge. In this case, salary falls under the category of wealth, cash, or money. This subject is also politicized, which means that salary will vary according to the political system of the society or nation that you are residing in. When it comes to capitalist state, it is more work with less salary or wages or salary. That is what is causing the rise of more socialist parties in the Western Europe and America. The workers or employees are tired to work long hours without decent payment. Sometimes, the working conditions of the environment is so poor to maintain the lives of people, which in turn cause them many health-related issues. How can you sustain to feed your family and keep in good health when you are being given less wages at work? Humanity is always at stake in the capitalist regime because wealth is placed before anything else, or everything, including before good health. Wealth is seen as the only means to get ahead of others, and competition is the motto whenever capitalism prevails. It is not only about the working conditions, but the salary also varies according to gender. That is the struggle of socialism to correct the inequality at work and pay both genders equally without segregating any party. I want to live in the world where men and women are equally treated and respected according to their inputs. That includes giving them the same salary and treating everyone as human beings. I know that deep inside, men and women may not be equally strong or smart, but that does not mean they cannot enjoy the same opportunities within the society. Just as I mentioned in the previous chapter, the technological advancement is secure to many factors within the society. The same concept ought to be applied here to abolish the inequality at the working places. Because I believe that with the right tools at hand, a woman is capable to do anything in life. This belief came after mentoring my sister to be well prepared for the future ahead. I've given her the greatest books to read and I spent most of my money on the buying Real Fusion books that will serve her during her final year in the secondary school. I can tell that she's bright at school and she has become the love of reading useful books on self-help section 2. The kind of books that will shape and reshape her mentality in the near future. Truly, that's the one who's capable to identify talent in others and then guide them towards developing it until it reaps great fruits in the end. Those are the qualities that I possess and I keep practicing them on a daily basis so as to turn them into perfection. Protestations. What is the first thing that comes to mind when you see people on the street are protesting? I'm asking this question because many people are too busy nowadays to even know what is going on within the country. It is mostly business from work or lack of keeping up with the media or newspapers or simply